All right, I just wanted to make a quick video pertaining to the time that I spent in the Polk County Jail when I was falsely arrested. Basically, malicious prosecution is what it was. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm going to make a longer video at some point, giving full details and accounts of what was done to me while I was locked up in that jail. But the video that I'm sharing with you right now is an account that an individual that I was locked up in the jail with for a certain period of time. I wasn't locked up with this person the whole time. They had me locked up by myself for the majority of the time that I was at that jail. But this woman is basically giving an account of the things that me and her husband were dealing with while we were locked up in that jail. And I can only pray for the day that more people come forward with some of the illegal things that they're doing at the Polk County Jail. And this is the Polk County Jail that is in Frostproof, Florida, by the way. Just to be very clear and specific. I think it's called South Jail or something like that. It's in Polk County, Florida, and it's in a city called Frostproof, Florida. So she's given an account of some of the things that we were dealing with in the jail. It was very hard for her to be in communication with her husband because they were keeping us from using the phones. They did have us on 24-hour lockdowns. I can only count on one hand out of the whole, I was in there over 30 days. Out of that whole time that I was there, I can only count on one hand how many times they actually let us out to take a shower or to use the phones or to get on the computers. And sometimes they would play games. They would act like they were going to let us out to, have recreational time, be able to walk around, stretch our legs, but they didn't. They would only let us out only like a minute later to tell us to go back into our cells. So, anyways, this lady is giving an account of some of the things that her husband, during the times that she was actually able to get a hold of her, some of the things that he was telling her that was being done to him and myself as well while we were in this jail. So I'm just going to go ahead and play it from the beginning.
All praises to the King. My husband has been taken captive from Babylon forces after battling an evil report against him for almost 2 years now. On April 15, during our feast day, these forces took him hostage. While we were walking our dog, one of them pointed their guns at me. Since then, my husband has survived at least 2 attempts on his life by ways of poisoning from inside the jail. A 24-hour lockdown has kept my husband from outside communications for much of this time. He has lost weight because the jail refused to provide him with his religious dietary requirements as usual. When he was given
Yeah, so I wasn't, just to be clear, I wasn't on a religious dietary meal. Most of the time, I didn't even eat the food in there. To be honest with you, I fasted a lot. But he is of the Rastafarian religion, so he has strict dietary requirements that he has to adhere to in order to be in compliance with his religious, beliefs and whatnot. So, just to be clear, that had nothing to do with me, but the rest of it surely does.
they had given him a vegetarian tray, it was and has been laced with psycho, psycho, psychoactive substance, otherwise known as pharmaceuticals.
That part right there. So while I was locked up in this jail, I made complaints to the correction officers, to the deputies that worked there, that something was being placed in the food. There were several occurrences, and I documented these things because I have, God, the pencil that I had to use, right? It was like this little tiny, it was part of a pencil. It wasn't an actual wooden pencil. It was like a plastic pen that had, what do they call them? The fillers of little lead fillers that you could put in so that you can write. So I was only able to acquire like the little end piece of it, and I had to use that, basically pinch this little pencil thing to try to write down and document the times that I felt poisoned. And when I tell you some of these trays that I was eating, um, it I had to feel like my brain was literally being scrambled. Like these people were literally in the Polk County Jail in Frostproof, Florida. They were putting psychoactive drugs, at least what we think to be psychoactive drugs, in our food, and it was causing this effect on my brain and on his brain too, because he was feeling the same side effects, because we both was writing down and documenting what was happening, this scrambling effect in the brain. And ever since then, I have not been the same. Okay. My employer had even recognized a difference from the time that I started my job, and I was doing really really well and well on my way to promotions and just getting new positions and things of that nature. There was a difference between that time and when I got out of jail. It was hard for me to think clearly. I always had a feel of clouded. My brain always felt constantly clouded. Just certain thinking skills weren't there, and it was almost as if like I was slowly becoming mentally retarded. I know I sound fine, but it takes everything within me to be able to sound okay. But really internally, there's something is not right. Okay. It's been a long journey. I've been taking measures to try to heal myself from this and do certain things to like heal the brain. That coupled with directed energy weapons attacks, it is something that is just, the people that are involved in this. I can only pray, and I know this for fact, that these people will be held accountable. There's nothing that they're doing in the dark that won't be brought to light. All of this stuff is going to be exposed. And I pray for the day for more people to come forward that has been locked up in the Polk County Jail in Frostproof, Florida. I pray that there are more people to come forward about the illegal things that they are doing in that jail to the inmates. Being injected with unknown substances against their will, having their foods poisoned. Okay? These are things that occurred with me while I was in that jail. All right. So I just want to put this out there. My name is Anthony Ochuko. I'm putting it out there. If there's ever a time where more people come forward about what was done to people in that jail, I want this video to be put out there as record. I have more videos that I'm going to be making about some more of my experiences. I have more evidences of things that occurred as far as like the arrest that night and stuff like that. So I just want to put that information out there as well. I'll continue this.
When he refused to be drugged, he was then put into isolation on camera while an attempt of force feeding took place.
I was told that if I didn't eat the, because apparently if you're in their jail and you go a whole day, if you refuse 3 trays, they have to document that, and the report goes to the feds that you didn't eat 3 trays. So what they would do to prevent that from happening is they would threaten to put you in a straitjacket and put you in another cell in another area of the jail that was inundated with feces and just piss and all this kind of stuff. So this is what we were threatened with. So it was like they were forcing us to take the tray and to eat. Okay. Now, mind you, let me just continue playing this.
My husband was labeled suicidal for not eating. The poison occurred on May 4th and May 8th when my husband went into a paralyzed state and began to vomit blood.
And I was in the cell and I witnessed that.
One guard said, "I'm going to watch you die." By the sure mercies of our King, my husband is well and alive. The rebirth must begin. A message to I people.
Okay, so the religious stuff that she's talking about, I'm not religious or into any of that, but yeah, that was a very accurate account of the stuff that they were doing to myself and this other individual while we were in a cell together in the Polk County Jail. Okay, these people had some MK Ultra type of activities going on in that jail. They would turn the TV up extremely loud. You know, it was hard for us to at least try to get some sense of peace while within the jail. You know, you would think at the time where it's time to go to sleep, everything gets shut down, but these people would keep the TV on till like 12 o'clock in the morning and would have it turned all the way up, and then they would play these weird videos. It reminded me of some shit like off of the Manchurian Candidate or something. It was just very, very just odd. But when I first got to the jail, I refused to sign any paperwork in regards to anything having to do with medical services. Okay, these people brought me to jail unlawfully, and then they want me to sign paperwork to take care of my medical. I let them know right off the bat, I'm not interested in that. I've basically been kidnapped here. Let me go through this court process and get this shit over with. Okay. I didn't sign nothing. Nothing. The only thing I signed for was my property while I was in there and when I got out. But they put me in an isolation cell in the psych ward part of the jail because I refused to wear a mask. And they said that I was going to be threatening or jeopardizing the health of the other inmates, which was interesting to me because when they finally got me out of that psych ward and they put me in the 23 in 1 facility, meaning 23 hours locked down, 1 hours you get to get out your cell and walk around the rec area. When they put me in that facility and it was time for me to go to court, they had no problems getting me out of my cell and having me join scores of inmates to walk down to the other parts of the jail where they had the computer set up to see the judge and all that. They had no problems putting me with those inmates to go to court. But you say that there's a threat to the inmate's health. So why would you have me mix in with the other inmates to go to court and I'm not wearing a mask? And a lot of the other inmates weren't wearing masks either. Okay, so none of it made any sense. So when I first got to the jail, they said they were going to put me in the psych ward part of the jail. There's nothing on record saying that I'm insane or I don't have any mental illness, nothing like that. They just said they had to put me there because of the whole COVID bullshit. While I spent time in that jail, it was one particular morning I woke up and felt the sensation of something that had been stuck in my fucking shoulder, my left shoulder. I don't know what it was. I can't speculate if it was the vaccine. I can't. A lot of people said it was probably lithium. Okay. All I know is whatever it was, ever since then, my brain has not been the same. So I'm just making this video because I think I've talked about this. I've mentioned it a little bit in other videos that I've made, but I've never really gone into depth like this. And I've never presented this video footage of this woman who is given an account of what her husband dealt with because I was in the same cell. She knows about me. I was in the same cell with her husband. Okay. So I've actually talked to her on the phone as well because I got out of jail before he did and he wanted me to reach out to her. So I've talked to her on the phone, text messenger and stuff like that, and all that. But the fucked up part about this whole thing is her husband's a pedophile. Okay. So that's the part of it that's kind of like that really angered me because the whole time we're in there, this dude tried to present himself as being holier than thou type of person, right? You hear about it on the news, on social media about these pastors. They get up there and preach the word. Come to find out they're closet homosexuals, or that they've molested children, or they're engaging in sexual harassment with the members of the church and stuff like that. So it really angered me that they would put me in the same cell with an individual like this. It was almost as if like they wanted me to find out while I was in there so I could beat his ass, knowing that there was a child that was had dealt with that. I'll have to I'll have to talk about that story a different time. I can't talk about it right now. But I just want to put this out there. It's important for people to know. The Polk County Jail in Frostproof, Florida, they are illegally putting drugs, okay, in people's trays. They're illegally injecting people with things against their will, and I just want to put that out there. That's all I got for now.
Rastafari is our savior.
Um, what was I gonna say? Like I said, I'm not with any of this religious stuff, but um, like I said, this stuff has affected every aspect of my life. My employment um has affected that a whole great deal. Ability to remember things at times, things that I've done over and over again, and it has been a real struggle. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video. Like I said, I'll make more in the future pertaining to the actual arrest and stuff like that. I know it's been a while since I've actually made a video where I'm talking on it or whatever. I've been posting some other like miscellaneous things, but just to kind of let people that know that watch, those that care, that I'm still around and still trying to survive this thing. But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.
Okay, yeah, and something else I wanted to add as well. They did attempt, while I was in the Polk County Jail in Frostproof, Florida, they did attempt to try and give me a TB skin test as well, and that was their reasoning for keeping me in 24-hour, I'm sorry, yeah, 24/7 lockdown, was because I refused a TB skin test. Now, from my research on TB skin tests, basically what they're doing is they're giving you a subcutaneous injection that is a dead version of the TB virus. They want to inject that in your body to see if you have tuberculosis. No fucking way. I refused it. They tried to convince me. I can't tell you how many days they kept coming in there every day trying to get me to take this TB skin test. I said I will spend the rest of my time here in this cell. No fucking thank you. Okay. And while I was in that cell, they tortured the fuck out of me. Like I said, they put drugs in a lot of the trays that they were serving. I did have to fast a lot of days, but some days I had to eat something. And even the muffins were tainted. I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna eat. I won't eat lunch and dinner. I'll just eat the breakfast, which was they had muffins and some shit on the tray that was supposed to have been like oatmeal, would literally look like vomit. They had like some little crackers and stuff like that. So I was like, I'll just be safe and just eat the muffins. Well, I tell it. They also drugged the muffins as well, so there was really no escape from that. But I just wanted to mention that to that as well. I refused all any type of medical assistance of any kind while I was in that jail, and they still went against my will and did what they wanted to do. Also, when I got out of jail, I sought to sue the Polk County Jail and the Polk County Sheriff's Department, their law enforcement, and not a single lawyer would help. I had so many lawyers that I had talked to that said, you have a really good case. You have a really good case. You have a great case. You have video evidence of the arrest. At the time, the Polk County Sheriff's Department did not have body cams. Isn't it crazy that the citizen had the body cam, but their police department didn't have body cams? So ultimately, that's what saved me, because otherwise it would have been just their word against mine and they could have made anything up. I was cameraed up from the inside of the house all the way to the outside of the house because I had a body cam. Okay, so I got the arrest on video. But like I said, when I got out of jail, I knew that I would have a great case to try to get compensated and to also not even just that, but just to expose what's going on in that jail, and not a single fucking lawyer helped. Okay? And that's pretty much the consensus of the targeted individual, right? When there are injustices that have been done against us and we try to seek legal counsel for assistance, there's none to be found. So what's left for us to do in those cases? Right? What's left for I even tried to contact, what's that guy's name? The guy that's always on national TV whenever there's some major event with black people. Crump, Benjamin Crump. Contacted his office. One of his associates let me know that I had a really good case, but it was always on that second or third phone call that something changed. Oh, all of a sudden, we're not going to be able to help you with this. There's just not much to gain from it. Blah blah blah. And I know people that have had things of lesser value done to them, and they still get compensated in some kind of way. So what was different about me? You know. So, anyways, I'm just putting all this information out there to let it be known. For all I know, it's nothing but perps watching my video. My channel's been shadow banned. I know that for a fact. A lot of the people that watch my videos are fucking perps. Okay, so that's not a surprise. But at least I want there to be some sort of virtual video record of me making this video and giving account as to what was going on in the Polk County Jail in Frostproof, Florida. Um, what else? What else is there? I don't want to stop this and then think of something else and then have to come back in. Let's say a part of the effects of whatever it was they did to me in there, it hinders my thinking abilities, or it delays them at times, and it's a battle, it's a struggle. Those of you that are really going through this, you know what I'm talking about. If you've experienced this, you know exactly what I mean. You try to reach out for help with things like this, and these people, there's no help to be found, and it's like you pretty much have to rely solely on, the Most High to come to your aid. But that's what it's been. That's what it will continue to be. And I just want to say, for people out there that are truly going through this, because you got a lot of fake people making videos. A lot of their videos sound really convincing, making these elaborate videos about the harassment and stuff like that, but they have no proof of any of their struggles. You know, they want to take news stories about things that are going on with other people, but on their channels, you see nothing that is of proof of anything that they've been through. If you go back to the archives of my videos, I have plenty of police encounter videos that I posted about stuff that's been going on with me. A lot of evidences of the organized stalking and harassment, being able to articulate it in a way that people can understand and the unwitting person can watch and readily identify that there is a trend of something very strange and suspicious going on, and that's all you need. If you can just get that little inch of uh of getting the unwitting person to think outside the box and to really see it for what it is, that's a really good start. And there's a lot more coverage on organized stalking and harassment in the media, more so than it has been in the years past. So it does appear that there is some sort of progress with this, but at the end of the day, only time will tell. So, anyways, that's all I got for now. I'll try to make some other videos. Like I said, I just been focusing on just trying to survive this thing as a whole. Um, it's just a lot going on right now, but I'm good. Everything's all right. No worries with me. And you guys just stay strong. Later.